What's going on, YouTube family? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to talk to you about the final Toledo Bend video. We have finally made it. It has been a long journey. I hope you guys are enjoying it, being able to take advantage of these points, and hopefully it's putting you guys on some fish. So let's go ahead. Let's finish this thing up tonight. Here we go, Toledo Bend, the final. All right, last time we were on Toledo Bend, we actually ended on marker 101, which is right up here, just above this bridge, right here off of this point. So you can see here, you got a pretty nice flat point that comes out, some pretty good drops that are going on in there. And then if we move further out, we've also got a nice ledge that's out here. Now this one's pretty deep. You know, you're going to start off in 25, 30 foot of water and then drop off into about 60 foot, but a real nice ledge there that's going to be out there really deep in the water. As you move down here, I didn't see too much going down this bank line until I got up into these pockets. But when I get up in these pockets, definitely see some good stuff. So let's just move around this area here and let's talk about what we're seeing up in here. So first, you got this nice creek channel that comes up, touches these points in these couple areas. Those are always good spots to look at. You can see one right there. You can see another one right here. You've also got a nice flat point that comes off. So you have a real good point that comes off with a flat top that's really close to a creek channel. So you know that's going to be a good spot there at marker 206. Also moving down here, this creek channel coming over here looks really good. So I marked that for you. And pretty much you can see I marked it for you when it came up and it ran across and it hit the bank, or maybe not the bank, but it swung up close to the bank line and created some kind of a major bend or a turn. I went ahead and marked that. Those are always great spots to look at. Got another one here, very similar. And then down here, you've got what we saw earlier with the point that comes out. So you got a point that comes out and it's really close to a major creek bed. So this is going to be a really good point to fish off of for sure. A good place to locate some fish. Now, a couple other spots we didn't talk about. We've also got this little flat top over here, this point that comes out. You can see here it's marked. There's a submerged point in about 20 foot of water, but really there's one in about 9 foot of water as well. And then if we move further back into this pocket, there's another one of these right here that you can see. Real good creek bend going on right there. Definitely a good spot to take a look at. So moving back out, we're going to look out here. This is off the point. Now, again, just paying attention to where that creek channel is. You guys hear me talk about the creek channels all the time. They're very important. And if you really learn to, learn the creek channels and learn how the fish relate to those creek channels, you probably solved about half the challenge with trying to find fish. So definitely look in there. And then moving down here, I really like this little island that's out here. So you can see here, got a little hump that's out here. I guess I shouldn't say island or hump, but it's underwater. But it's only about 18 or 19 foot at the top, but then it has a major break off to it. And there's probably some debris close by or something because you do have a major river arm really close by to it as well. Now moving back in here, didn't see too much going on back in that side. Moving on down, there is a marker right here where someone said there's a submerged point, but I don't see too much of a point going on in that area. So I'm not sure I believe that one. Moving down here, going down around the edge of the island, you do have a really good spot here. You got the main river channel, and then you've got some really good spots right here off the island. So nice flat top with some good little tapering point that comes out here. You've already got people that have marked it. And then if you look a little further down, you also have a road bed that goes right in here. So this road bed could treat you really well as well. Treat you really good as well. And then of course someone put submerged points, not up the points over here, but definitely a road bed in there. Moving down through here, just kind of looking to see what looks good. These little flat points that come out, these are always good. And they always got good drops on them as well. So you always know you're going to be able to find or locate fish in those areas pretty quickly, especially during the fall and even the wintertime, early winter. So then moving down, kind of going down here, let me show you guys where I'm at. Sticking on the right side of the lake. So I'm going to come down and we're getting ready to go in this major pocket right here. So as we come out, we got this big flat that's out here, right? 15 feet mainly, 15, maybe 20 feet in some spots. So you know you're going to have a lot of fish activity on that flat. If you're out there fishing the flat, the main spots you're going to want to look at is these creek beds because they're going to create little ditches. So take a look at those creek beds that are all in there. If you're up there fishing that flat, if you want to go out and fish kind of more offshore, you could get out here off the edge of these humps where I've got these things marked here. And there's another one that's over here as well that I think you guys would like. This one's only in about 15 feet of water or so. So definitely a good spot to look. Then moving up here, the contour map kind of gets jacked up once I get a little bit further up here, and you're going to see it almost like it just disappears. So one of the last spots I can show you would be right in here. But if you look right here, this looks really interesting. It goes way in right there on the bank line. So definitely an interesting spot to at least go check out and see what's there. As I move further up here, got a little hump that's up here as well. So I went ahead and marked that one for you. Again, the contours are not good once you get up here. They just don't really show you much. Again, you got some more going on right here. I thought this little island might be good because you got a major creek channel really close to it, some really shallow, flat place for them to go up and feed and things like that. Same type of thing here. You got that creek bed really close to it as well. So then when we get further down here and finally get back into the contours, first thing you see is a really good ridge going on right there, right by that dock, with a nice little tapering point that's right underneath it. So I could see that having some potential. Got a good creek channel swing here as well. So I went ahead and mark that one. And then this is just the edge of this flat that comes out. So you can see here, it's pretty close to the boat lane, but a nice little hump that comes out here, and then a nice little ledge that's over here on this side as well. Moving on down, kind of following that boat lane. There wasn't a lot going on right in here until we get down by that big Bass Marina, but I did like this little point right here. Comes off about 15 foot, has a nice flat top to it. And if you look just below it, you can see that creek bed that's out there as well. So then we're going to swing down. We're going to get down here by Big Bass Marina. This island looks good. Nice little flat top on the edge of the island that's underneath, but then the island's actually got a good break off of this side as well. And then, of course, getting into these big flats, those are always fun too. If you can find debris and stuff on them, that's even more fun. Or if they have grass, that's like money. But then moving back here, we're going to start seeing a lot of bridges. So I've marked a lot of these bridges for you. One of them's right here. There's another one here that I didn't mark. I just missed it. But there's two more in here as well. These bridges can be really, really good. And I really like these two bridges because if you look, they set up right on the edges of this creek channel swing. So anywhere in this area, not only do you have a good drop right in here and a nice little turn, but you've also got two really good bridges that are right there and some pretty good depth. Right in here, all these docks are going to be good at Esto's Landing. Right in here, this creek channel just going right up against it. That's awesome. And you've got another little bridge that's back here as well. So I'm going to scoot on out. We're going to move on down the lake. Next thing that we see is down in here. There's a marker here, and I was like, why is there a marker here? Well, I know where there's a marker here because it's KVD's spot. So if I zoom in, you can see it was KVD's morning spot in one of those tournaments. So if KVD fishes there, I definitely want to fish there too. If you notice, he's fishing around the edge of that flat. That flat's over here, and he's fishing really close to it. Now, there could be docks in there or something like that too. Don't know, can't tell by navionics, but I would go ahead and fish on down here and see what you can find over here as well. And we get off this big flat, of course, all kinds of stuff you can find on these flats that are out there. This one's kind of funky, but you've got some really good breaks off on this side, close to the river channel. So you can check all those out. And then if you move down here, you've got a little high spot that comes up right in here, about 10 foot. And it's got a break off the side right here that's right by some more of those submerged bridges. So you can see you got three different submerged bridges right there. Plus you got a little flat point that comes up. So real good feeding table for them. So I could see that being a good spot for you guys to check out. Moving on down, we're going to get down here to this pocket. A few spots in here, got good point that comes out, nice flat top. Again, Toledo Bend has so much. There's so much to choose from. Same thing here. You got an island with some good breaks. This island over here has got a nice break that comes off and goes right into a creek channel. So that one's cool. You've also got a good point that's out here. So you can see here, this point, Main Lake Point, touching the creek channel again. I live in Rockwall, Texas. So my home lake is Ray Hubbard, and we don't have anything like this. If we did, I think I'd be in heaven. I'm going to go ahead and keep moving on down here. Got a good dock that's right here. Again, this was one of those that I think I looked at and said, why would I want to do that dock? But it said because there's a brush pile there. So go out, scan around there, see what kind of brush piles you can find in that area. We may have even found it on Google Earth, no telling, but definitely put the mark there for you guys. So we're going to keep moving down the lake here. Next thing that we come to is some more docks in this area. Again, this is a KVD spot. So if KVD is going to fish there in 2016, even though it was 5 years ago, I still would definitely fish there for sure. Now, if you follow this creek bed down, you'll notice it comes right up against this little point that's right here. And this point's a little tapering point. Really like it. Got the creek bed there, creek channel. Really like how that one's setting up too. Moving further down, got a nice little point that's in here. So love that point. Like how it has some pretty good break to the edge of it. But I really like the top that's flat on the top of it. That really looks good. And of course, someone put a marker there and says fish here. So that's always good if someone's validating that and they've caught some fish there for sure. Moving down, some of this stuff gets kind of interesting over in here. So let's go ahead and jump over there and talk about it. Before I do that, I'm going to zoom out and show you guys where I'm at. Probably about, what, mid-lake now? Something like that. I can't get my fingers to work. So I'm right in here, getting ready to go right in one of these big pockets. This one right here. So getting pretty close to be almost wrapping this thing up. So let's go ahead and keep going. Let's see if we can finish it. If not, we'll do one more video. But right out here off the edge of this island, we've also got a really good break going on right in here. So you can see you got a pretty good little ditch and a nice little break going on in that spot. If I zoom back out, there's all kinds of that stuff in here. So if you find them there, go look around, see what you can match up to that. Now over here, got another point that's over here that looks good. Look at the flat top on this one too, 12 foot. Comes out, has a little tiny little hump at 6 foot. There's a creek bed close by. I like that spot. I like all these spots. I mean, right here, nice, big, huge point that comes out at 6 foot. And then if you look at it, it kind of has another shelf down to 12 foot, and then it breaks off into the creek channel right there. The same thing back in here as well. Just a lot of good spots back here, guys. Back in here, another flooded timber up in here off of a point. Money with a creek bed. Yes, sir. Definitely want to fish that. Moving further up, kind of got a lot of the same things here. You got a nice little point that comes out right by this creek bed. And you could follow these creek beds and probably match a lot of these points and end up with, 50 different points where you have that exact same setup. And that's going to give you a really good pattern to go off of. You got a good flat up here, and then off the edge of the flat, if you come out here off the edge, I would definitely look over in here. If you weren't fishing the top of that flat, let's see what that says, just submerged point. And anywhere where that creek bed makes those turns or that bend, you're going to want to fish around those, or at least scan around there and see what you can find. So I'm going to keep moving down. Again, we got a nice little creek where the creek turns right here, submerged bridge. You got to go fish that. Submerged bridge in about 25, 30 foot of water. Looks like a really good spot. Back here in Pirates Cove Marina, if I get a little bit further back in here, one, you got a submerged culvert, so check that out. But two, here, you got this nice flat that's way out here, and right off the edge of the flat is where you're going to want to look, right here where the creek bed is, where it's making a little bit of a turn there. I think you might have some potential in there. And then, of course, out here, this main lake point, submerged bridge, go check that out, and then check out the point that's right here, especially the fact that it has a road bed on it. Road bed and a main lake point, that's a good combination. Moving on down, we got a nice little point here, just a tapering point. That one's probably not as juicy as some of the stuff that I look for you, but if you get on to a pattern where they're on main lake tapering points, you know that that's going to help you out. So moving back here, didn't see too much back here in this this marina. Again, Navionics kind of jacks me up and doesn't show me all the stuff, so I can't see everything back in there. But if you're back in there fishing, pay attention to that creek bed. Follow where it goes, and that creek bed's probably going to lead you to some really good places. Out here, you got another nice flat top, and then it tapers off, so really good point right in here. Someone even marked it here. I think it says Bass or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it said, but definitely a good spot. Moving back, further back, I don't know why Navionics does that. Kind of frustrating, but moving back in here, I like the outside edge of this island. So right in here, you've got the creek beds coming up close to it. It swings up pretty close in this area as well. So you can see that looking good. Out here, you've got these grass beds, it says, that are out here. And I don't know if that grass is still there. Apparently grass is a little hard to find. But if that is a grass bed, you definitely want to fish around it. Anywhere where you can find the edge of that grass, you definitely want to focus on that. Moving on down here. Again, it says grass beds, not sure if those are out there, but get out here off more the edges of these, especially out here around these creek channels, and see what you can find there. Even up in here where you got this nice flat top that's right here before it starts tapering off around 8 foot, and then it has a nice sharp drop to 14 foot. So right in here, maybe right where that, that little marker is, could be a good spot to look at. As we're moving further down, again, you've got these nice big long points that come out, shallow, and then they taper off. I mean, they're just money to go look at. So go take a look at these for sure. Same thing here. You've got this one's actually comes up pretty high to 8 foot and then it starts tapering off. But anywhere in this area is going to be a good area to look. And even up on top of that hump as well, they'll get up there and they'll feed. I'm going to keep scrolling down, getting to this next little pocket in here. Let me zoom back and show you guys where I'm at, make sure I don't lose. So we're right here about midpoint. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this video. So let's go ahead and finish Toledo Bend tonight. I didn't think we'd be able to finish it, but I think we can do it. So out here, I really like this. There's 3 piles. Now, I don't know if these are brush piles or what they are, but 3 piles that are out there. So you need to go look at those. Those are rock piles. They're right off a point. If it's brush piles or right off a point, it just looks like a really good spot to find some fish. Even you crappie fishermen that are out there, that could be a good place to go look. As we move further back on this point, these docks do look pretty good. Pretty deep little docks right in there, at least a couple of them. But over here, since we're talking offshore, we got a little hump that comes out 10 foot, and then you got a little saddle in between. So get out here around this hump, get out here on the edges of it, and see what you can find in that area. Also over here, same type thing. You got another hump about 11 foot, and you've got a creek bed really close to it. So anywhere over in here or anywhere even on top of the hump would be a good place to look. Moving down, we got some points out here again. We got a nice little point here that you can check out. Another one of those humps. This one's at 16 feet. I mean, if you got on a hump pattern on this lake, you're money too, because there's a lot of different humps that you could go check out. They're all over this lake. And here, I just like this. I don't know why. Sometimes I just pick spots on the map when I see these lines pinch up like that really tight. And so you can tell you got a really good drop there. Anytime you can get right around the corner of where that drop starts, for whatever reason for me, maybe it's just a superstition thing, but it seems like those are really good spots for me. So I went ahead and marked that one for you guys just to check it out. And if you're over here at the hump, you can just come over here and kind of scan around the edge of this and just see if there's anything there. Out here, you got another big long point that comes out 15 foot on top. That one looks good too. So real good area, just right in this little area right in here. We're going to move down. We got some more of those piles that are over here. I don't know what they are, but check them out. But I went ahead and put a marker here off the point. But when you're on the point, go check out and see what those piles are. They might not be anything, and they could be, something really good for you guys. And again, if they're shallow enough, we probably picked them up on Google Earth as well. All right, so moving down here, we got flooded timber. Now, if there's flooded timber off here, this would be awesome because you got a nice little break coming off here off a nice flat top. So that would definitely be a good one to go look at. And then if we move over here away from this island, we got a good little break that's going on right in here as well. Always get notifications when I'm doing these videos. And then move it over here. Good little point that comes out. Go check that out. Someone's already put a marker here as well, so you know it's good. It says there's 2 obstructions here too. So go check those out. They could just be, cypress tree or something like that, or a big stump, but they could be rock piles too. So anytime I see that on Navionics, I always at least just go scan around it and see what it is. Sometimes those are good fish attractors. Moving out here, look at this point. This point looks juicy, 13 to 15 foot on top, something like that. Real comes out way out into the main lake. It's fairly close to some creek channels and some creek beds. So I really like the way that point sets up. I like how this point sets up too, how it comes in. This is a great spot, like a staging spot for them to go. So pre-spawn or even post-spawn, or even, fall after they've gone way back there in the fall and they're pulling back out. This would be a good spot to look for them too. So look at these spots. Anytime you see these back in these coves where they go way back in there and then it splits and you have kind of that point that comes out in the middle, those are good spots to look for fish. I'm going to swing back around. We're going to get down here off of these points. Just some standard points I just marked for you guys. This one's got a little bit of a ledge on it. Pretty shallow up on top, 4 foot. I like this one. It comes out, 10 foot on top out here. These aren't as juicy as what we were seeing earlier, but still look pretty good. You've also got another one here. Look at this point that comes all the way out. Pretty high, 12 foot on top. So real good reg. Might even have a little saddle right in there possibly. Someone's even marked this feed and pallet trees. So definitely go over there and look at that. Feed pallets could be really good, especially if they got a bunch of them in there. All right, and then that takes us down to the dams. We're almost done with Toledo Bend. I can't believe it. This lake is the hugest lake I have ever broke down and probably will be the biggest lake I ever break down. Not sure I'll try to conquer one of these again, but Definitely will be a while. So you got a little hump going on right in here, 22-foot hump, so pretty high or pretty deep, but it's out here in Main Lake, so I could see it being a good spot to look. And then, of course, right over here on the edge of the dam, I don't know how close you can get to this, but you want to go over here and look over here. Whatever this mega structure number 1 is, you want to look at that. And then also right over here, I don't know how close you can get, but anywhere right in here is probably going to be a good spot as well. And then last but not least, really like these spots that are out here. You can see people have marked it as a hump, 20-foot hump out here and a 15-foot hump out here. Those could be really good spots for you guys to be able to find and locate some bass. So guys, I really appreciate everyone sticking around with me through these lake breakdowns. If you've gone through every single Toledo Bend lake breakdown with me, man, bless you, man. That is a lot of detail and a lot of focus that you're putting on this lake. I hope this helps you out. I hope it puts you on your PB. Make sure to go out, check out our site, simplisticfishing.com. I've got all these offshore hotspots, plus I have all my Google Waypoints and the Texas Park and Wildlife stuff on there. It is a lot of points for this lake, and it will really help you break it down a lot faster. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.